The story starts, and the world is totally messed up, completely devastated. The only people left live in these massive robot cities that just drive around all the time. Think of them like giant monster trucks, but they're cities. So we see this one huge city, London, and the guy in charge, this dude Thaddeus Valentine, is like, go get that little city. He wants to snatch all their resources and stuff. And then it's on. London is hot on the trail of this tiny little town. In that small town, there's this girl with her face all covered up. The little town is way too slow, so London catches up super fast. Then, get this, London opens up these giant gates like a huge mouth and just swallows the whole town whole. It gets crunched up and thrown into a furnace, which is basically what powers all of London. Total disaster for the little town. The people from the small town get captured. London says they'll be citizens, no biggie, but they're all super scared, thinking they're gonna get killed. Valentine shows up and is all smooth, like, don't worry, we'll take care of you. Then we meet Tom. He's this guy who's a total history nerd and loves collecting old junk from our time. Valentine's daughter, Catherine, finds him and she's like, hey, what happened to the world? How do we end up like this? So Tom spills the beans. He tells her it was this insane quantum weapon called Medusa. It literally destroyed the entire world in 60 minutes flat. So after that, everyone built these giant mortal engines like London to survive. But there are also these other people who live on the ground and hate the moving cities. Anyway, Tom is looking through the stuff they just got from the small city, and Valentine comes over. He's all like, hey, Tom, good work. Didn't you used to be a pilot trainee? And Tom's like, yeah, but life happened, and now I do this, and it's cool. And then, bam, out of nowhere, that same masked girl from the beginning runs at Valentine with a knife. Tom tries to stop her, but she's too fast and stabs Valentine. She yells that it's for her mom and says her name is Hester Shaw. Valentine totally freaks out when he hears that name. Hester tries to stab him again, but Tom grabs her. She shoves Tom away and makes a run for it. Tom and some guards chase after her. She slips and almost falls into this giant waste chute, but Tom catches her hand just in time. But then Hester tells him, you gotta listen, Valentine is not a good guy. He's a monster. He killed my mother. And with that, she pulls her hand away and just lets herself fall into the chute. Whoosh, she's gone, flushed out with all the city's garbage. Just then, Valentine shows up. Tom, totally panicked, is like, dude, that girl said you were a killer. And get this, Valentine, instead of saying anything, just shoves Tom right into the same chute. So now Tom gets shot out of the city too. A second later, his daughter Catherine shows up and asks, Dad, where's Tom? And Valentine puts on this whole fake sad act. He's like, oh, it's so terrible. He and that girl were fighting and they both fell. He was such a good boy. He's just straight up lying to his own daughter. It's so messed up. And you can see Tom's scared friends saw the whole thing. Next thing you know, Valentine sends a jet out to make sure Tom and Hester are dead, but they can't find them because they're hiding. Hester is super pissed at Tom. She whips out her knife and is like, I almost had him and you ruined it. She's about to leave him there, but Tom's like, wait, help me. I've lived in London my whole life. I need to get back and tell everyone what a liar he is. So Hester agrees to help. Meanwhile, back in London, we see Valentine's big secret. He's rebuilding that world-killing weapon, Medusa. He's got this whole secret project going on, and none of his own people even know about it. It's super high security. But now Valentine's got a problem because Hester is still out there and could totally wreck his plans. So his creepy doctor coworker gives him an idea. He's like, you should go see the prisoner. There's this monster dude locked up in a prison in the middle of the sea, and this thing is basically an unkillable green-eyed beast who just keeps saying Hester Shaw's name. He wants her dead. So Valentine is like, perfect. He goes and breaks the monster out, and the monster just takes off, hunting for Hester. And the whole time, Tom and Hester are out in the middle of nowhere, eating stale bread. They fall asleep, and Hester wakes up because she hears engines. She looks over and sees Tom, the idiot, waving his arms trying to get help from some random scavenger towns. He has no idea that those towns are just as bad as London and will totally capture them.
To grab them. This other city that looks like a giant centipede rolls in and saves their butts. So cool. And the people who save them are actually super nice and even give them tea. But back in London, Valentine's daughter, Catherine, is freaking out, thinking her dad's in danger. So she goes to find Tom's friend, the one who saw everything. She's like, you know something, you have to help me. And at first he's scared, but then he just spills the beans. He's like, your dad isn't the one in danger, we are. He's the one who pushed Tom, he did it to shut him up. And then, get this, he tells her dad is building a secret weapon. The plan is to attack the people who live a normal life on the ground behind this giant wall. Valentine wants to smash the wall and take all their food and fuel and stuff. Knowing this, Catherine is just completely crushed. So back to Tom and Hester. They pretty quickly figure out their so-called saviors are actually leading them into a trap. Surprise! They find a secret hatch and plan to jump, but Hester's leg is all messed up and she can't do it. She tells Tom to go without her, but he's totally started to fall for her. So he's like, no way, we live or die together. Well, it turns out their helpers take them to this awful place where they literally sell people. It's a total slave market. And they put Hester up on the block and are about to sell her to some random dude. But then, bam, this awesome lady, Anna Fang, just shows up out of nowhere. She's basically London's most wanted criminal because she fights against Valentine and his whole city-eating thing. She just starts blasting, kills all the bad guys, and saves Tom and Hester. Just then, that creepy, green-eyed monster shows up again. But it's weird. Hester seems to know him, but we don't know how yet. It's a huge fight, but Anna Fang is a total pro and gets them all out of there and onto her cool airship. So they're flying away, and Anna's like, okay, what's the deal? How do you know that thing, and why does it want to kill you? So Hester finally tells her the whole story. The monster's name is Shrike, and he actually raised her. After Valentine killed her mom, she was just a little kid all alone, and Shrike found her and took care of her. But Hester was always so sad, so Shrike promised to turn her into a robot monster just like him, so she wouldn't feel pain or have sad memories anymore. He made her promise she'd do it. But then she found out Valentine was still alive, so she broke her promise to Shrike and ran away to get her revenge. And that's why he's so pissed off and hunting her down. She totally ditched him in their deal. Meanwhile, in London, Valentine's boss finally figures out he's up to something shady. He finds Valentine in a church and sees the secret project. It's Medusa, the same weapon that destroyed the whole world. Valentine just rebuilt it. The boss is like, "You're crazy, I'm stopping you." But before he can do a thing, Valentine just kills him right there. And you'll never guess who was watching from the shadows. Catherine and Tom's friend. They saw the whole thing. Now she knows for sure her dad is a monster. On the other side of the world, Anna Fang lands her airship at this awesome airport in the sky. She introduces Tom and Hester to her whole crew. They all know London is racing towards them, ready to attack. Anna's like, he's got Medusa, there's no way to stop him. But then Hester remembers a big deal from her past. She tells them her mom and Valentine were both scientists. And her mom, get this, invented a machine that could shut Medusa down for good. That's why Valentine killed her, so he could get his hands on the machine and control the most powerful weapon in the world. The only way to stop this crazy Medusa weapon is with something called a crash drive. The problem is, nobody has a clue where it is. And just when things can get worse, that green-eyed monster Shrike shows up. He just tears through the sky airport, destroying everything. Total chaos. All the soldiers shoot at him, but it does nothing. Then, the monster grabs Tom and is about to kill him. But then Hester just screams, "Don't! I love him!" And she's got tears in her eyes and everything. And get this, the monster, Shrike, actually stops. He never wanted to make her sad. You can see he's super damaged and is about to die. Before he does, he gives Hester this locket and is basically like, "This was around your neck when I found you. I kept it safe." Then he gives it to her and he dies. The whole airport is a wreck, but they all manage to escape in their airship. They finally make it to this walled city called Shangguo, where people live a normal, old-fashioned life. Meanwhile, back on London, Valentine is given this big speech. He's like, "We're going to smash that giant wall with our awesome weapon and take everything they have." And all the people of London are cheering like crazy. So Anna Fang and the leaders of Shangguo are like, okay, we have to attack London first. Their whole army gets ready for this huge fight. Then Hester is looking at the locket Shrike gave her. She opens it and you'll never believe what's inside. The crash drive, the one thing that can destroy Medusa. She immediately tells Tom, but it's almost too late. Valentine aims Medusa and just blasts a giant hole in the wall, destroying a ton of their planes. So Hester and Tom tell Anna about the drive, and it's on. Everyone attacks London in a massive air battle. It's insane. So many other ships get blown up, but a few of them finally make it onto London. Anna gets into this epic sword fight with Valentine, which is the perfect distraction. Hester sneaks into that church where the Medusa controls are. It's a huge struggle, but she manages to plug in the drive her mom made. And bam! The system crashes. Medusa is down for good. But the fight with Valentine was too much for Anna. She's badly hurt, and she tells Hester to run. And then she dies. It's so sad. Valentine runs out of the church and finds his daughter, Catherine. He's like, "We gotta go!" But she knows everything now. She just looks at him and says, "I'm not going with a killer." So he tries to escape on his own, but Hester is right there, blocking his way, ready to finally get her revenge. And then Valentine drops the biggest bombshell of the whole movie. He looks at Hester and says, "Hester, you're my daughter." What? Hester is completely shocked. While that's happening, Catherine is trying to stop the giant city from crashing into the wall and killing everyone left. But the controls are all busted, so she calls for help from Tom. Tom, flying his airship, swoops in and blows up the main furnace, the giant engine that powers London. He looks down and sees Hester and Valentine are still fighting, so he flies down and saves Hester, pulling her onto his ship. Valentine gets knocked down and looks up just in time to see his own giant, unstoppable city rolling right towards him. He just closes his eyes and crunch. He's crushed. And with that, London finally grinds to a halt. In the end, the survivors from London are welcomed into Shangguo, and we see Tom and Hester hug. Then they hop into their little airship and just fly off together, ready to see the world. And that's the end.